This is a Dragon Predator, and it's under warranty, or was until I got to it, because I'm no longer authorised repairer for Bike Scooter City, which is fine. I'm not going to explain why, but communication, you'll find if you're already a customer, is a bit of a problem. But yeah, like this customer found out and several customers found out, but I won't go into that. All I'm going to say is that the customer decided, because he's based in Perth and Bike Scooter City are in Brisbane, he didn't want to spend the $200 odd getting it over there, and then, with the risk of them turning around and saying, no, it's not under warranty, and then you have to pay for it back, and, there goes $450, $500. So I am quoting him $165 all up, including a replacement controller there, which is the A controller. That's the original, and that one has a burnt out blue wire phase MOSFETs inside. Now, the other thing that was a problem with the motor was that when you rotated the wheel, it would cut out. And where the original cable is clamped, this is the motor cable, you see there, the motor cable, and underneath it's clamped to the fork, okay? And where it was clamped, because it was stiff, the cable with this side was stiff and the other side was flexible because you had to, okay? Well, actually it's the other way around, but anyway, one side was flex and the other side was rigid, and in doing so it fractured the wires and it broke. So I went to open up and try and find it, and I could not find the fault because I didn't cut it off entirely or open it up entirely, the insulation or the individual insulations of the phase wires. It was just too much work and too much hassle. So I did put my motor on there from my Raptor, which is a better motor, and I'll explain that as to why in a minute. And in doing so, there was two faults. Well, actually there's three faults with this particular one. As I said, the A drive, the MOSFET had failed. Excuse me. Hang on a second. Yeah, there's a frog in the throat. And also the fractured wire that was in there as well. So what I did was I swapped out the motors. Now, the original motors on the Predator was a split rim. You could pop one side off and then slip in an inner tube and a tyre, and bolt it back on, and she's all good. This one you can't do that now, and they're not designed to do that, which makes it a hell of a job to replace the tyre and the inner tube. So you're out in the field and you've got a backpack with a tyre and an inner tube, you're going to need crowbars and all sorts of stuff to do it, which is annoying. Why they've done that, it can only be due to cost cutting of maybe 50 cents per motor to save money by the manufacturer. I don't know, if I was Bike Scooter City, I would have asked for the original motors. Even I would have paid the extra couple of dollars for that privilege. At least it's not like the Mantas, which have been around for about 6 years, where they put the motor cable running into the axle on the same side as the brake rotor. This one doesn't do that. The cable is on the opposite side, which is great, because if you need to replace the brake rotor, it's easy enough done. On the Mantas, because you've got a cable running through it and through the axle, you actually have to drop the motor and remove the cable from the actual scooter itself, which is a bit of a pain in the ass to do. And why they persist on that after 6 years, I haven't got a clue. But at least the rest of the Mantas they've improved in terms of the stem, because originally the stems were poorly designed. They were cracking because they didn't have a stiffening piece running inside the stem. It was just a pure circle. But now they've got the circle with a little rigid piece running up inside to stiffen it up. The other improvement on this particular one is this is a VDM-10. Okay, uni whatever they call themselves. I can't even think of the name of the company right now, but anyway, I'm sure someone will tell me or remember. Is that they're now using this clamp style, which is brilliant. I didn't like the side clamp, which if you tighten one up, then you have to tighten the other, and it just kept on doing that. Fiddle fart arsing around. Stupid design. This is a great improvement on this particular model. The not so update I like is not an improvement, is changing it to a non-split tyre setup. Now, going to the other fault was the B controller. Now, that's the new A controller, okay, and everything's working now. The B controller, because they shove it in like that, and then the cables, this cable runs on top of this, and then underneath to there to go out here and then down to the side motor. What happened is that because it was tucked underneath there, the phase wires, they were getting cut by the corner there. And what I had to do was, on two of them, I had to just put a bit of insulation around them. All right, a bit of insulation. And then I wrapped it up with insulation again, or tape, and then cable ties to keep it all together, so she's all good to go there. And also those cable ties will make sure that the cables stand off from the plate underneath here in this cavity area. So that was a manufacturer assembly fault. I mean, really and truly, it's a design flaw, but it's in actual fact, I'm pretty certain it's the first time I've seen this problem with this particular model. I have seen that problem on a number of Langfed, which is, you know, Bike Scooter City Dragon, Predator style, or Lightning. I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was the Lightning. I can't remember specifics. Yeah, Lightning V2, where they've done the same thing as cut into the cable of the three-phase wires, which is not very clever at all. Now, the other thing with this particular model is two other things finally, is that whoever owned this is twisting, because what they're doing is when they go to remove the charger, they're actually twisting it as they're trying to pull it out because it's a bit stiff, so they think twisting it's going to help. It actually makes it worse. It's really impossible for me to fix this up by tightening up the nut at the back. You can't go through the hole here, okay? There's no way of doing that. And you have to remove this. Sorry about the wobbly. I'm holding the phone via my knee. But this one's a little bit loose too, but it's not so bad. But you have to remove it, and it's a bugger to get in there because there's a curved piece for your spanner. And I've got a specially designed spanner to do the job. I had to make it myself. In part, two pieces, a skinny little spanner, about 5 mils width, and then a brass washer is soldered onto one end, so that when I put over the cable, feed it over, it sort of sits over the nut perfectly, and then I can work it a little bit to tighten it up. So my suggestion to people is, no matter what scooter you've got, do not twist it to remove it, because this is about an hour's work. If anyone tells you can do it in 5 minutes, yeah, because they're going to butcher it. That's why. You've got to do it properly. To get to the back, you actually have to remove this, get this out of the way, to then go inside to try and tighten up that nut. And then you've got to put this one back on. So yeah, that's the other thing. Now the other thing is, with this particular model, there was one, a youngster had been using it over jumps and whatnot, thinks he's got a push scooter or a BMX or whatever. That's a no-no. But if you're going to do it, if you paid for it, and if you don't care that your parents have spent $2,000 on a scooter for you, well, so be it. But these bolts here, those three on the other side three, did come loose. So I advise you that to keep an eye on those. Those ones I haven't seen come loose, but you can just check them anyway. But certainly get an Allen key. I think these are an 8, I think, M8. Can't remember, or M6, M8, one of those two. If you've got a kit of keys, then you'll find the right one. And just tighten it. Now, I would suggest that you put a bit of blue Loctite, not red. Never use red. You use red, you'll never get them off, and you'll chew the inside, because these are, generally speaking, pretty soft. They're not stainless steel. They're mild steel bolts, okay? Just use a dab, one little droplet of blue Loctite will assist in making sure that they are not likely to come loose because of it. Now, the other thing finally is that these are not waterproof. Do not put a hose to them like 2 customers did that came in saying, oh, my scooter doesn't work anymore. I gave it a wash with a hose and now it doesn't work. Yeah, okay, they're not waterproof. Not one scooter is actually waterproof, especially these ones got the top plate cover style. The Segway G30, F30, F65, etc., and the M365 scooter, they've got the plate underneath, a plastic plate with a ton of screws under there. That's the closest you're going to get to being waterproof, but I wouldn't put it through a puddle. Okay. But still, they're far better than these things in regards to being water resistant. So don't go through puddles. And remember also that these motors aren't waterproof. If you go through a puddle, then you're going to get water ingress and you're going to start rusting out the inside of the motor. So don't do that. Okay, now one final thing, I keep saying this, but one final thing, if you're going to have your scooter sitting for any period of time, say more than 3 months, which I've come across numerous, not only scooters, but also skateboards, where it's been sitting in the garage for 12 months and people go to start it and it won't start, all because of the battery has failed. Now, the battery can fail due to stray current that the controllers may have, meaning that they could possibly be draining the battery or failure in the BMS, something like that. Okay. If you're going to store your scooter for more than 3 months, I suggest that you check it every, say, 2 months. Check the battery's fine. If it needs charging, charge it up. Otherwise, if you can, disconnect the battery from your scooter and then store it in a cool, dry place. All right. It doesn't have to go inside the house, but if it's in the garage, away from anything that's flammable, you know, like fuel, your lawnmower fuel containers or anything like that, certainly store it away from getting damaged or not up against a hot surface. You could even, if you need to, get a box and put it in a box, metal box or something like that, just to store it. You know, hey, a few dollars for safety is good insurance, you know that. But certainly you need to ensure that you keep an eye on your battery. Otherwise, like in this case, you're having to fork out $700 because you didn't maintain it. It's quite expensive. I'll leave it at that. If you've got any questions, not only about the VDM-10, which this is, the I keep saying unicycle, it's not, it's Unicool. Unicool. All right, the VDM series. And if you've got one of those in a different brand, you know, then these issues are applicable. There's something to look out for. If you've got any other questions about any other brands or models and issues, please comment, subscribe, and thumbs up for my videos if you don't mind. It'd be appreciated. Thanks, and speak to you again. Bye for now.